thanks for joining me on Fridays with Flora, and today we have a lot going on in our kitchen. And don't worry, I'm not going to tackle all this with you today, but what we're going to be doing today is some strawberry jam. It's the end of the strawberry season. I'm sure you have some strawberries from the farmer's market that are starting to ripen and you kind of don't know what to do. One of the things I would recommend is if you don't want to tackle jam today with those overripe strawberries, hull them, get them all ready as if you were going to be cooking with them, but then wrap them up in some Ziploc bags with a measurement and freeze them, because they freeze really well whole and you can pull them out when you're ready later in the summer, especially if you want to mix them with peaches or some other stone fruit that isn't really going to be ripe until about August or September. So otherwise, join me today and I'm going to show you how to make some strawberry rhubarb jam with lots of citrus. The stove is busy today. I have my meat sauce because it's Sunday and I'm Italian and we do meat sauce on Sundays. So that's been cooking all day and actually it's done, so that's set aside. And it's a big pot. We don't mess around. Over here we've got some shrimp broth. We boiled a bunch of shrimp shells that we've been storing in the freezer, and we've boiled it and now we're cooking down that broth. It'll be some nice shrimp stock that we're going to keep in the freezer. And here is our boiling water because we're going to, this is what you're going to be worried about, our jam. So I've got 6-pint jars, mason jars. I have tops and lids, and I'm going to basically sanitize them in hot boiling water for 5 minutes, pull them out, and set them on a clean towel to fill. So pop these in, and then we'll move on to our jam. Our jam, I have 4 cups of whole strawberries. I got these from a Michigan farmer's market, and actually I had purchased them last week. They were really ripe, so I hulled them, I cleaned them, and then I froze them whole, and I pulled them out this morning and put them in here, and they're just slowly defrosting, so they'll be ready. So 4 cups of strawberries, and have those kind of defrosting while you get your jam jars sterilized. Okay, while I'm sterilizing those jars, I don't have my stove on yet, but I have my strawberries in the pot that I'm going to be making the jam, and I have a masher that I'm just going to mash these berries. And it's up to you how many bits you want in your jam. If you want it more kind of, chunky, then don't mash too much. These strawberries are going to dissolve a little bit as they cook. So if you want more fruit, just do a light mashing like this. I like more fruit, so. All right, to this I'm adding 2 cups of chopped rhubarb. I juiced and zested 2 oranges. And I've got about a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. A lot of that citrus is going to kick up the acids, which is also going to help in preserving things. I'm just going to do a light sprinkling of salt, just a touch. And all that does is just enhances the flavor a little bit. Give this a good stir. All right, I've pulled out with some long tongs my jars. You turn them upside down, then I turn them right side up just to kind of get them all draining. And these are hot, so be careful. So while those are sitting, jam goes really, really fast. So I'm gonna add one more thing to our mixture. We have all our citrus, and we have our rhubarb, and we have our strawberry. And this is where I'm adding citrus, but you can add a lot of other creative flavors in here. You could do like really steep, strong tea to add a little bit of flavoring. You can add some spices in here, but this is where you want to add some of your magic flavor crystals, if you will. So this is also where you want to add your pectin. So here's where you want to add your pectin and then turn your flame on to start cooking things. And I'm using this Ball Classic pectin. This is the stuff you need to, with the sugar and your lemon juice, like have this chemical reaction to actually make jam. Some of the older recipes refer to packets or boxes, and so the conversion sometimes gets a little kooky. And if you go down the rabbit hole of the internet, you have a lot of classic canners that want you to weigh things, and I don't know, it just gets kind of kooky. But this here will tell you that one box, which is usually about 1.75 ounces, is going to equal to about 6 tablespoons. More exactly, when I went on the internet, it's a little less than that, but I'm going to trust Ball because this is their product. So what you're going to do is very lightly sprinkle, as evenly as possible, your 6 tablespoons. I've got it on a high heat, and you're going to mix this and do constant mixing while you're going to bring this up to a boil. Got it on high. Okay, it took about 10 minutes, and you want to, stir pretty consistently because you don't want any clumps. You want everything to cook evenly. That is an aggressive rolling boil. That's what you're looking for. At this point, this is where you add your sugar, and I've got 5.5 cups of sugar that you're going to mix in. You actually owe a half cup more here, but mix that in, and you need to get it up to a rolling boil again. So once you add something, it brings the temperature down. So see that aggressive boil went down? You got to bring it back up. The consistency and color of your jam. It's going to get kind of shiny and slick. All right. Keep that temperature up high. We're going to get it up to a rolling boil. What you want to do as you're getting your boil back up is, as you see, kind of murky impurities like that. Ladle them up. This will just keep your jam nice and clear. Give it a stir and just see if any more impurities come up to the surface to ladle out. All right, so this is what I call our rolling boil again. So with our rolling boil, I'm going to now time this for 1 minute. You want it at this temperature for 1 minute for the pectin, the sugar to do their thing. Timing, 1 minute, start. Once you've taken it off the heat, cooled it down just a touch, you're taking, and a lot of those impurities have like stayed on top, so you can quickly, before you jar anything, is take the rest of it out. I mean, look how much I grabbed. All right. And now we fill our jars. You want to fill them till you know, they're about a 1/4 inch from the top. You want a 1/4 inch, what they call head space. So very gently take this out. You want to keep your rims as clean as possible. And move your funnels over. Go to the next one. Times. I was thinking I was going to get 6 pints. I still have more. Probably fill 2 more pints and a little extra. So I just threw in 2 more jars, sterilizing them for 5 minutes. So I'm at a holding pattern. But, you know, don't freak out when you have more jars to sterilize. It really only takes 5 minutes. Your jam's not going anywhere. So just quickly get them sterilized. What you have already. So hopefully you've been careful with your jam and your lids. I mean, not your lids, but your rims are nice and clean. But if not, this is just an ever so damp paper towel. And you're just wiping your tops. It's part of like Ball's canning kit. Go ahead and you want them to be dry, and you really don't want to use your fingers to touch anything that's going to be on the inner side of that. And then you seal them. You don't go, and these jars are hot. You tighten, but don't go too tight, because there's compression and contraction when you're canning these. So just a little tight. Okay, grab your jam, and you're going to delicately place it in your hot water bath. Just like that. And I've had to wait for the water to get to a boiling boil again, because I've had it going the whole time and a lot of the water evaporated. So you have to make sure you have at least an inch or 2 above these jars. So you have to add water, keep an eye on your levels. All right, we've got them all in there, and we're going to process them for 5 minutes. All right, the timer's gone off, so gently take them out, like so. You're gonna set them back on your clean towel. All right, so they're out and they're hot, and you just wanna let them sit and settle and come up to room temperature. As this happens, you're gonna start hearing some popping. Basically, everything's really expanded, and now it's going to contract. And as it does that, you're getting a vacuum seal. So these tops are gonna start to pop in. And that's how you know you've got a preserved, sealed jar of jam. So it's gonna start sounding like popcorn in here, and maybe one of them will do it for us on camera, or they're gonna be shy, I don't know. But you wanna let them come up to room temperature, and don't really move them until then, and then you gently put them in your storage area where you wanna keep your preserves all winter.